In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Captain Typho for the Legacy Collection. So this is one of two of the Captain Typho action figures you can get. So you have this one, and then you have the original one from 2002. And that one was in his flight gear that we see at the beginning of Attack of the Clones. But I would consider this the definitive version of Captain Typho. And even if Hasbro did a repack into the TVC line of this, I don't think anyone will complain. It is the definitive Captain Typho action figure. It's perfect in every way. Looks exactly like the actor who plays as him. The accessories are very unique. There is one particular accessory we'll point out here in a little bit. This one right here. From my understanding, this is considered the smallest Hasbro Star Wars accessory that they've ever made. At least that's how it was as of like 2020 or so. It's been a while since I've read that article about it. So perhaps Hasbro has made smaller accessories since then, but regardless, it's still one of the smallest ones they've ever made. And despite that, it's very well put together. So I've actually had this guy since about 2020, 2021 or so. I got him in an auction on eBay. I think I paid maybe like $35 for him. Yes, that's a little pricey for a 3 3/4 inch action figure, but Captain Typho, I think, is one of the more harder to find and more expensive 3 3/4 inch Legacy Collection action figures out there. And he is part of that final wave of the blue and white packaging. And I think this is the one that had HK-47 parts. And the wave did contain a lot of repacks. It had an Obi-Wan. Well, I think from the perspective of nowadays, it has a lot of repacked action figures. But it had like Obi-Wan and Anakin. And I know that particular Obi-Wan was reused in the Vintage Collection later on, the Attack of the Clones one. So obviously Captain Typho is the successor to Captain Panaka. I'm not sure if he's actually specifically part of Senator Amidala's detail at this point, or if he represents, was it Queen Jamala or something like that, and he just happens to be assigned to Senator Amidala at the time of the movie. Of course, we know Captain Typho follows Padme pretty much all the way to the end. We see him for a couple scenes in Revenge of the Sith. So for his cap here, looks pretty good. Has a nice goldish color detail on it. And of course the maroon on the top here. It does have some symbol on there. Can't really make it out what it is. I'm sure it has something to do with like the royal crest or coat of arms for the Naboo royalty, I guess. Cap does fit nicely on his head. And look at that portrait. It's perfect. Did a nice job on his eye patch. And everything's excellent. The hair, the facial sculpt, the paint is perfect. In fact, if Hasbro did do a repack of this in the TVC line, I wouldn't even want them to do the photoreal with this because I think it would ruin it. The painted face is excellent. Very neutral expression. And very rarely do we see Captain Typho with his cap on anyway, so it's pretty good. As for the rest of his tunic here, pretty basic. Definitely has the Naboo look to him. Some blues and some of the maroon colors. He does have a, I'm guessing it's supposed to be an extra magazine pouch on his right side here. Some nice details. Then here we have the extremely small accessory. which is his comm link, I assume. I'm not sure what this hole here is for. There's obviously not a spot on his blaster to plug it in. I did read somewhere that he may have had a thermal detonator, but when I got this guy through the mail, he never came with a thermal detonator of any sort, so maybe in the comments you can let me know if he does come with an extra accessory or not. I don't have it if he does. Just have the comm link in the blaster here. And I figure I'll keep it tied around his waist there as long as that elastic band lasts. It's plastic for his skirt here, basically. But he does have soft goods for the under part of him. And it's very thick material. Feels like felt almost. And then his boots here. So in terms of his articulation, he does have a ball joint at the head. Hinged shoulders is a nice range of motion there. Hinged elbows, just go about 90 degrees. Then swivel forearms. Then swivel waist. Then swivel hips. And hinged knees and hinged ankles. So he pretty much has all the articulation he's going to need anyway. Of course, in terms of his accessories, he has the cap here. Which looks good on him. The blaster, which I still have the elastic band. But it's a pretty basic blaster, I guess. Some browns and some silver on it. The black at the end of the barrel there. And of course his little comm link there, which I'm not sure how that would fit in his hand. I suppose in his right hand here that would fit. Looks like his grip is small enough where it might work. But it's better I keep it tied around his waist there. I feel like that's an accessory a lot of people would lose over time. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can tell you about Captain Typho. Like I said, I think he comes with the right leg to HK-47, and I've featured that droid so much on the channel up until now, so if you want to see that, check out like my Jedi Revan HK-47 2-pack video, or I'm sure there's plenty others along the way that are worth checking out. Here he is with Senator Amidala from the TBC line, another excellent action figure. And of course, one of the Naboo Royal Guards from the TBC line. He's definitely the definitive action figure of this character. I still would like to track down the first Captain Typho figure at some point. I distinctively recall seeing it in stores back in 2002 and 2003. I never got it at the time. And I think it's kind of one of those overlooked ones from the Saga line back in the day. I'm not sure what the going rate of those prices are, but I can't imagine it'd be that bad. As for this guy, though, he is kind of on the pricey side. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I paid like $35 or $40 for him maybe 4 years ago. And if you want him brand new, it's probably going to be even more than that. I ended up getting this guy loose. So just shop around for a good deal, and I think you will find one eventually, even if you do have to get him loose. But he's a solid action figure. I really like it. Definitive Captain Typho, and it's always nice to add more Naboo Royal Guards and security captains and you name it into the collection. Very nice addition. And he's a very interesting character throughout Star Wars. It's one I like to read about every now and then. It's interesting seeing his adventures outside of Beyond Revenge of the Sith too. Even in the new canon, he kind of has some interesting stories here and there. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There'll always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support, and check out some of the links in the description if you have not done so already. As always, thanks for watching.